So, where are we?
We're in Bordeaux. We're drinking wine already. We have a bottle. Woohoo! Cheers! Hello!
Bonjour.
Bonjour!
Hello.
Look at the package closely. I saw the same. I saw the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, bienvenue dans le château carbonieux.
No. So we are here on the southern part of the left bank of the Garonne River, in a big region called Région de Grave. And here in this region you have one appellation created in 1987, that is the appellation Pessac-Léognan. So in this appellation Pessac-Léognan you have 14 Grand Cru classés. So some are classified in red, others in white, and others in both colors. And Carbonieux have the double classification because here we produce wine of more or less 100 hectares, 50 for the reds and 50 for the whites.
Yes. Once a year we can get
Okay. I got it.
The actual name comes from the terroir. So l'arrivée refers to the small river that crosses the property. Or in French means high, and as you probably saw when you came down here, we're on the heights of Léognan, it's quite hilly. And Brillon refers to the small pebbles that we find at the feet of the vineyards, that we call, well, that are pebbles basically, that are very light coloured, and so in the daytime they reflect the sunshine and so they shine. In Old French, Brillon means to shine. Anyway, so that's it. So the concrete vats are what we use for the red wine. It's where it ferments. I'm not going to go into detail. If you just want to come and touch it, it's basically raw concrete. If you like, I mean, you don't have to. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and it's kind of rough too.
It is. So that's where we use concrete so that the yeast can actually breathe while the wine ferments. And also, obviously, concrete is a lot thicker than stainless steel, so the temperature outside impacts less the temperature inside. That's the two main reasons. The things you have here, so these funny looking eggs, we use for our white wine. So once the white juice has been pressed, it will go into either these eggs that are in concrete, either in classic barrels, or into even bigger vats that are still at the moment.
that it's the soil. I mean, the soil, we have two sorts of soil. There's the topsoil with the mixed between sand and gravel. I mean, Carbonier is quite, there is a bit of gravel, but not as we have. So it's giving also the drainage, and when it's really hot, it gives back the heat to the vines. That's why we say that the terroir here is quite one of the better that we can get on the gravel, because you have the mix between the sand and the grave. Jean-Christophe is the head guide of the cellar, our winemaker.
Yeah.
They were wondering pourquoi il est rouge là.
C'est moi qui ai fait ça l'autre jour, c'est pour dire, c'est pour indiquer aux gens quand tu veux faire chauffer une cuve, le voyant s'allume au rouge, et quand tu veux refroidir une cuve, le voyant s'allume au vert. It's red for hot temperatures, and it's green for cold.
So I was wrong.
His camera doesn't have it. My laptop doesn't have those.
Doubly sure.
Maria, I thought you and Peter were going to open a white wine. I thought you and Peter were going to open a white wine.
Is that a dressing?
Like white wine.
Just make some dressing? Yes.
Do we have white wine? We don't. We don't. We have like 3 bottles. They're in the fridge. This isn't going to last very long.
Separate lanes, because if you don't, then something is done. Hello.
Where are we?
Hola. We're in the car going to, where are we going to? Pauillac.
What's the name of the winery?
Château Pichon Baron.
Non,
No,
ça c'est le deuxième.
Le deuxième.
that's a Mouton Rothschild.
Mouton. Guess what we're doing? Drink some more wine. No Mouton Cadet.
The melody's done, repeat and repeat. And if you can't swing, it's got a good beat. And that's the main thing to make it complete. Cause everyone's swinging today. So we call it Opus 1. It's not for Sammy K. Hey, hey, hey. It's Opus 1. It's got to swing and sway.
Could you take a picture of that little vine there? Fabulous. Look at this. How they've sculptured this together.
So everything starts here in 1853 when Baron Nathaniel bought the chateau. But at this time Nathaniel was a banker in London, so he never came here because it was a long way to do, and the only thing he wanted it was to have his name on a bottle. That was something really famous. So the first one to come here it's Baron Philip. Philip arrived here in 1922. But he was really young, he was only 20 years old. But he had a lot of revolutionary ideas. There are many things that he wanted to change, to have new technique. So the first thing, it's in 1924, he started to do all the bottling here at the chateau. And in 1979, he met Robert Mondavi, and together they built Opus 1. So Opus 1, famous winery in Napa Valley, it's a partnership, 50% for the Mondavi family and 50% for us. So it's a really good wine thanks to French people.
That's not what they say in Napa.
Yeah, that's what we say. So you can see some wonderful heads of ram. So the ram, it's the symbol of Mouton. So like I said, the name Mouton, that's the name of our chateaus because of the hill. But Mouton, that's a name we have since a long time. Even before the family was here, it was already the name Mouton. But when Baron Philippe arrived here, he wanted a symbol for Mouton because it's easier for people to understand and to remember something if you have an image. So that's why he chose that. So he was born in April, and April, the zodiacal sign, it's Aries. So that's why we have this as a symbol. And it's also a good way to confuse people with the name of Mouton.
So that's a little joke in the same time. So that's why. So every year we have a new artist with a new label, and a lot of them, they love to represent a ram on our label. That's something that you can see really often. So that's the symbol. A lot of rams. So here you can see it's a well balance between modernity and tradition. All the wood you can see here, everywhere, it's French oak, because it's the best one. Even in the lift, it's French oak. And even the door for the outside, French oak. So everywhere. And you can see we have some balconies. Like this, you can look downstairs to see what is going on. So you can see we have different sizes. Smallest 50, 200, 25. This one's 150, 100, and 125. So different size. And they are really unique for mouton, because if you look, you can see we have some windows to look inside. So it's plexiglass, and that's really perfect. And also we don't have a door in front. Our door is under. So every 3 months we do the whacking. So whacking is when we move a wine from a barrel to another one to take off the sediments. So we have a tube here and it's going in another barrel, and like this the wine go in another one, and at the end they have sediments. So at the end they look with a glass and the candle to see for sediments. So it's like when you decant a wine in a restaurant, we do the same thing but with a barrel, a little bigger. So we do that every 3 months on all our barrels. But usually for us, the easiest thing, it's all our 0 and all 5, it's good. All 0, all 5. 45, exceptional. After if you keep 55 awesome, and all the 5, every time it's really good vintage. And all the 0, it's same thing, really good vintage. So in this cellar, we can't go inside this one, totally closed. So this cellar, it's our library. So this is where we keep bottles of each vintage, and we keep them for the memory. So it's not to drink. This one, it's really just for the next generation and next one. So in this one, every year we add 24 bottles, 12 magnums and 3 0 grams. And the oldest one here, it's 1859.
Go right. What from your left?
Which way would you like to go?
Left if possible.
Wait a minute, I just got a left and I got a right. Which way?
Okay, it's very close. I don't think it is that. Okay, go go slow, Mary. It's right here somewhere. Not too bad, very French. Here at the go. Oh, that must be it. In here, turn right.
Ding, 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 ding. There you go. Okay, we'll go where the other cars are.
You're such a conformist, Gary.
I know.
Can you drive up to the steps there?
Are they drinking with us?
But he had the best game of his life.
Maybe they have
Well, so we'll go then directly to the technical facilities. I will show you around to speak more about the secrets of winemaking in Fish and Baron, and then we'll do some wine tasting. Perfect. If you don't mind.
That's good.
And where are you from? California. Okay, so you know some good wines there.
A few.
And do you live in your vineyards there right now?
No. We live in Southern California.
Okay.
Away from Napa area.
Okay.
But there's wine everywhere.
Chateau, in fact, it looks rather good, but it dates back to 1851. So it's rather old, but it was restored, yes, and it looks like there is a princess living there, but in fact, no. It's very simply, it's an office of a company who owns Chateau Fish and Baron, and it's an insurance group called AXA, AXA, maybe you heard, it's one of the biggest insurance in the world, and in fact they decided, yes, to invest into wine industry, and they purchased 7 wineries in Europe, and Fish and Baron is one of them.
Just in 1851.
This is our place.
Welcome to my home.
Welcome to the house. Welcome to the new place.
And the aging, you know, it's a very, very important part of winemaking, because, well, basically thanks to this time, thanks to barrels, the wine becomes wine that we know, that we're used to drink.
Where are we?
At the water closet. Waiting for Sharon.
Again.
You guys don't need to go? There's something different about you.
Yeah. We have a bigger bladder because of some beer drinking. You know?
You feel better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Smile at the camera.
Which way?
You okay back there?
Hell!
You're turning left.
I don't know. Where are we going? Hell!
a communications and journalism institute.
Say hello.
A concert hall well known amongst the Bordeaux residents.
Where are we?
We're in Bordeaux. We're in heaven. Bordeaux City.
That's the second
Sabriel, so we'll do the visit together. I'll talk to you a little bit about the historical part here, then we'll go to the other side to see the vineyards. I'll show you the facility side, and then we'll do the tasting. Okay for you?
Okay to film?
So if you have any questions, don't hesitate, I'm here for that.
Yeah.
And if there's something that you already know and that you want me to go faster on that front, also. We used to grow fruits and mainly apples. That's why it's called pomme roll. It comes from the word pomme, that means apple in French. So that's for the historical part. And then for the appellation today, it has 800 hectares. It's the smallest qualitative appellation of red wine in Bordeaux. And those 800 hectares are divided between 120 chateaux. So the average size of a estate will be between 6 and 7 hectares. And here in Beauregard we have 17.5. So it's pretty big for the region. And we have also the advantage of having all of our vines around the chateau, and not one plot here, one plot there. Because we are working, we are organic since 2011. So we had the certification in 2014, because you have to work 3 years the vines organically before having the certification.
Get it?
I did.
So this room is where we will receive the harvest. So in order to, the harvest is done manually. So we have 50 people that comes for the season to do the hand picking. And in order to, it's done between September and October, the harvest. And in order to continue with the efforts that we already do on the vineyard, we will have a very strict selection of the grapes that we want to put on the vats. So we have 5 steps in total. The first one will be done directly on the vineyard. So they will keep only the grapes that have reached maturity. Then they will bring the grapes here, and they will go through a first table of selection where 4 people will select what could be damaged during transportation. So the grapes will arrive here on the lines. They will place here on the lines. So we will decide about the size, shape, and color of the grape that we want to put on the vats. And this machine will take a picture of each berry. And if it doesn't match with the criteria that we want, it's thrown out. So we will lose between 2.5 to 5% of the harvest with the machine. And it can select up to 2.5 tons of grapes per hour. So it goes very, very, very fast. And the reason why we decided to use a machine is that the human eye, after looking at a berry for more than 15 minutes, they all look the same. So there's only a machine that can do that work. So this is one of the big investments that they have.
How much of an investment?
How much would you say?
200,000 euros.
€500,000?
Yeah, $500,000.
This looks like something that should be in a James Bond movie.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I agree with you. So it's where we will do the wine. We have 22 vats that have been tailor-made for the state. So we have 3 different capacities in order to do the vinification according to the size of the parcel. So we have 60 hectoliters, 70 hectoliters here, and 80 hectoliters here. So we decided to use concrete vats. In the inside you don't have anything like plastic or stainless steel. It's really concrete, and all the coils will be inside the walls of the,
But it's a demi-bottle anyway, so
Yeah,
it's a
but
demi-bottle.
here you have.
Thank you.
Right, 2 cups. I like it this age.
Yeah, it depends on the taste. There's people that like very old wines,
Yeah, it's more.
but it's not really appreciated by everyone. So
Spicy pepper.
yeah, you have the spicy
Mm.
notes a little
But
bit.
it's probably, I mean, for you it's more acidy than the other one.
No.
No?
It's the other way around.
That's funny, yeah.
Usually it could be also because it's the first wine that you taste, so your mouth is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
really,
yeah.
How do you say?
Prepares your body.
Yeah, it's the first wine, so it's
Yeah.
you can retaste.
There have been many families owning this estate over the years, which is why buying and selling plots around Pomerol, the plots aren't actually around our estate. They're spread out all over Pomerol. Most of our plots are up there by the church. That's where we have our oldest plots. We have a plot that was planted in 1934, so good 80 years old. I can work that out. Survived the big frost of 56. We had a terrible frost here in 56 that wiped out most of the vines in the area. It was so cold that the vines actually split in 2 in some cases. So, yeah, just so those old ladies are very resistant. They survived that. And then we have vines on the other side of the slope here, and we just have 2 plots touching the estate. So we're going to walk down here and have a look at them.
We still have to learn the English.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pound, shillings and pence? Doesn't it? See that house tucked right under it?
It's hanging over the road. Whoa. Buffalo. See, there is bison here. Bison burgers.
This is
Safeway. Discuss the
See me. Looking at the extra rooms.
Oh, Paul, turn around. Look at the pastry shop.
I've already been in there.
Oh, you've already been there.
It's incredible.
Gary could have gotten a van down through there. No problem.
Oh, how pretty.
No, we're looking for a bakery somewhere.
Oh, we passed the number.
Well, bakeries with bread.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for coming to our church today. We have lots of surprises.
Apparently there's not a service.
We have the pastor's nightcap at the end of the meeting.
Good. This isn't a functioning church. This is just a ruin, right?
I'm thinking that's true also. We'll be up to see you.
Wow.
This is our place. Oh well.
The bathroom.
There's our tree. Accessories. So we will discover our house rooted in exceptions in 1724. We will speak about the history of our family. We will speak about the terroir from Grand Champagne and Petit Champagne. We will see the talent of these women and men that participate in the elaboration process of our cognac, and we will see the essential value of our house, the time. So we will end our visit with a tasting of two of our cognacs, VSOP and XO, accompanied by Gourmet Bite. Then it will be your turn to share with us your feelings about the aromas of our cognacs. We will visit our last cellar of aging inactivity here in Cognac downtown. So there we will find a lot of alcohol vapors. I would like you not to make pictures or videos inside for safety reasons. If not, you can make pictures everywhere.
Remind me when we
and
get
I will
there.
remind you just before accessing that cellar, okay? Good. So now if you are ready, we will start with the cellar, which today has only a historical museum destination. And this cellar, it is now mainly for two things, for the architect and for the architecture. And I'm really sure that you know this architect for at least one monument present in Paris, and which now it is the symbol of France. We talk about the good, yes, and about the Gustave Eiffel. So I would like you to follow me, please. Long time ago, this cellar was used as a finishing cellar. Here, the cognacs took their final shape. Afterwards, they were transferred in the bottling department that was situated right behind these two doors in the hall. So this architecture, it is really unusual for an aging cellar on these three levels. It is a cathedral architecture. And today, it has only a museum destination. The vats are full, but not with spirits. Okay. So you can make
Just water?
Just water, yes, because we are obliged to fill them, so that we can keep them very sharp.
How many barrels are at the other location?
On the other location, 150,000 barrels.
Okay, so they wouldn't miss one. 149,000?
About, it is about. It can be less or more.
So they wouldn't miss one.
For a while. Oh.
And here we enter into the dungeon.
Sorry?
There are no leaves.
No. No. So in front of you, you have the only world region where we can elaborate the cognac. The cognac, it is a type of brandy made from specific grape varieties, white grape varieties, such as Luni Blanc, known under the name of like Trebbiano in Italy, for instance. So Remy Martin will use Luni Blanc in 98%, and the two remaining percents we will use Colombard and Folle Blanche. These grapes are known for their aromatic superiority. So this one will be perfect for distillation, and the distillation will be always done in a copper pot still like this one that can go up to 120 hectoliters. So you should know that Remy Martin will have two particularities as for the distillation. So we will use only small copper pot stills of maximum 25 hectoliters for a better aromatic concentration. It's like in the kitchen, if you want, a small casserole will allow us better concentrate the aromas and better control the cooking process. And second, the wine will be always distilled with the yeasts, with the lees. So this part will not be kept by all the cognac houses, since it will make the mission of the distiller more delicate, more complicated, but this will give to the spirits more roundness, opulence, aromatic richness, and this long potential of aging. The dark yellow color with the first notes of vanilla and spices. The spirits will stay here from 9 months up to 36. In function of their evolution, they will be selected for blendings by our tasting committee ruled by our cellar master. So after the blendings, they will be transferred in seasoned casks. And these seasoned casks are from 5 to 10 years. Here the color will be a little bit darker of our spirits, and the notes will be more complicated, more delicate. So we will have juicy fruits here with mild notes of nuts and honey. And the oldest cognacs will be always kept in old cask. An old cask is from 10 years up to 40, 50 and even 60 years. And here we will have this dark amber color with red shines, with more delicate notes like white flowers, iris, jasmine, honeysuckle, like candied fruits, like fig and plums. The final blend of this cognac will be kept in an old cask, older than 20 years, during 1 year, last year. So we will find inside some notes that comes only from old casks. Okay?
Oh, gee. Candid camera.
Oh, you have no idea what I've got on there.
I know I will be in trouble.
You will be in deep trouble.
Do you want to get a picture before we leave of us standing in front of Lake Club?
She said she would take pictures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In front of Lake Club.
Well,
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
20, I didn't say 12.
Bonjour. Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour. Bienvenue.
How are you?
Merci beaucoup.
Bonjour.
So what about the roses?
It's for disease
Disease, yes.
detection.
Exactly.
Early
warning.
Early
warning. So you did your homeworks before to
Well,
come?
we've been to a few
okay.
wineries, yeah.
And there's a maximum number of grapes, weight of grapes from each hectare.
Well, we have a density of plantation plus the number of bunches per plants per stock.
Oh, okay.
So you have both.
Yeah.
And you also have everything is restricted anyway. So like the distance between each rank, distance between each plant, the height, yes, everything is restricted. So in that way you can control the quality. So if you don't have more than 10 bunches per plant, so you know you're not gonna have a very big quantity and less quality.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
Who imposes those restrictions?
It's cahier des charges, charge book. No.
Yeah.
How do you call that?
A rule book.
Rule
of
book?
rules.
You call that like this? Okay, it works.
Near enough, yeah.
Cahier des charges in French.
Okay.
It's like rule books.
Okay.
And so you have some people at the beginning with the meeting, and they say, okay, we want to do an appellation for this area. So what rules can we do? Can we impose? And then they did all the rules.
Okay.
And so every appellation has different rules.
But there's not a central governing body that imposes rules.
Well, to make sure you are following the rules, yes.
Okay.
But welcome in France is never easy. You have this government, this one, and this one. You have to, and they never talk together.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a bit hard.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
That's what it's like to drive.
No key.
Imagine we have a place in France.
Very, very wet Margot, France.
Careful. We have a place in France.
Yes, we have a little place
We have
in
a little
France.
place in France.
I will tell you.
Wow.
Can you get a picture? Gang.
Oh.
Alright, okay.
Can we look through the windows?
Yes, but just don't
nose. Not
just,
put nose on the window.
Yes. Because the cleaner always told me she sees everything like the faces and the hands. Like just doesn't like to clean every day. So.
No nose on the window.
Yeah.
See, dear, had you won the big lotto, you could have bought a place like this.
So you have a beautiful color, which is very purple. So it's a sign of a young vintage. So the idea of the Bordeaux is to be very fresh, fruity, and easy to drink. Compared to the Chateau, would be much more complex.
Very nice. The blend is
47 Cabernet Sauvignon, 42% Merlot, 11% Cabernet Franc.
Where are we?
Tasting.
Chateau.
Germain. Am I a mess? Oh yeah. I'm always a mess. Yeah. They really want to keep
Comment?
Which is a good thing.
It's just like where we're at. We could choose certain things, but
So, welcome to Chateau Marquis de Termes. 40 hectares of vines, divided into 60% of Cabernet Sauvignon, 35% of Merlot, and 5% of Petit Verdot. So we have 3 grapes varieties here. The average use of the vineyard is 40 years, but we have 15 years old plots, we have 48 years old plots, 58 years old plots, so we cannot create the same wine with different age of vine. That's why we create 2 labels, 2 productions. One second label, elaborated from the youngest vine, so much more simple wine, much more ready to drink earlier in the time wine, much more smooth, with the majority of Merlot in the blend. Merlot, which gives more roundness, softness and smoothness, and red fruit aroma. And we create a first label, so the high level quality wine, the Grand Cru, elaborated from the oldest vine, so much more powerful, much more full body, much more potential of peak of the wine, and of course little much more expensive is the oldest vine. So Château Marquis de Termes is the first label. The name of the second label is the Crown by Marquis de Termes, La Couronne de Marquis de Termes. So when we use the traditional handcraft, we use a tractor to put the grapes in a destemmer, a machine to separate the stem from the berries, to keep only the berries. The berries are sorted, so we do a sorting to select the cask for the second label and the cask for the first label. So we use a machine, we don't do the sorting by hand, it's a machine to control the density of sugar in the berry. So it's a machine where we have water mixed to sugar together. If we see that the berries are at the top of the water, and that means that they don't have enough sugar than in the water, these berries are for the second label. The berries which are at the bottom of the water means that they have much more sugar than in the water, and these berries are for the first label.
Interesting.
Clever. Because after, this is the sugar which transforms into alcohol, you know, during the alcoholic fermentation. So the objective is to have the more alcohol in the first blend, in the first label. We continue in the bathroom. Here, during the alcoholic fermentation, in order to obtain the aromas, the tannins and the color which are only in the solids, we use the pumping over. So we bring the juice over the top of the tank to filter in the skin cap and to capture all the substances we have in the skin cap. And the third method we use in terms of extraction is the rack and return. So I don't know if in the other wineries you visited before they explain you what is it, the rack and return. In fact, when we do that, we use this shape of tank. So we have this shape of tank which allows to do rack and return. So we have the skin cap toward the top, just after the juice. When we do rack and return, we move the juice in another tank. So we have the skin cap which falls. When the skin cap falls, it breaks. In same time to break, you can see it's smaller. The bottom of the tank is smaller contrary to the top. So in same time to break, it becomes more compacted. So just after we move the juice back, and because we are still in alcoholic fermentation, we have still the emission of the CO2, so the skin cap becomes to the small part toward the top again. So it passes to a small space to a bigger space. So it's the same objective to have a kind of natural and fresh explosion of aromas and flavors, thanks to the fact that just only we do the transfer of the juice just before. Special. This is a good.
They're wooden eggs.
Yeah. So especially for these barrels, we crush the berry, but not a lot. Middle crushing of the berry, only for Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Verdot. We fill these barrels with the host. We close hermetically. We put them in another room where we have a warm temperature. So we grow the temperature. So the yeasts are stimulated. They transform the sugar into alcohol. So we have emission of CO2. So we have explosion of the berries more, if you want. So we have the formation of the skin cap. We play with the pressure, in fact. It's only a checking of the manometer. So if you want, it's the same system than the pressure cooker machine you have in your kitchen, if you want. So for the wine. So inside, everything is done by itself. So we have the alcoholic fermentation. The only extraction we do is a pumping. It's not a pumping over. It's a punching down. It's a little punching down. We use a little palm. We break the skin cap to be sure that we have extraction, of course. We do maceration. We do running off to separate the clarified wine from the skin cap to have the pressed wine. We do second fermentation. And at the end of the second fermentation, contrary to transfer like the tanks, the cask to the classic barrels. No, the wine stayed inside. The name is pressurized barrel for semi-carbonic integral vinification, because it's integral vinification, the fermentation plus the aging.
That's amazing.
It's pressure cooker machine for the wine.
And you started that in 2016? When did you start doing it?
2016.
Not much is the answer.
What is this called in Peril?
The Arc de Triomphe?
Yeah. I remember the Viking
gone to the squawk box and said, "Open the damn gate, we're thirsty."
So please take a glass. So that's Denise Adams' surprise. It's so the owners of Chateau Fontplégat are from US, just like you. Yes, they're from US. So that's why I usually say it's like the US embassy here. So you're at home. Where in the US? California. Okay. So they were born in Minnesota and Ohio, moved to California, and so they have 3 vineyards. They have Fontplégat, so they started with Fontplégat in 2004, purchased the L'Enclos property, it's a Pomerol, in 2006, and Adamus in 2008 in Napa. So this is the wine that you're tasting right now.
We have some Adamus in our cooler at home.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Some red.
Yeah, cab, mostly cab.
Okay.
Yeah. And they make only 1,000 bottles of Sauvignon Blanc. So this is what you're tasting. Cheers.
Cheers.
For your visit. Thank you for your visit.
Good morning.
French breakfast.
Yes.
Wow. Yes, sadly. I don't know if you've been explained how we distribute our wines in France, and especially in the Bordeaux area. We have wine brokers, so wine traders.
Yeah.
So usually we don't open our gates to people because we sold all our wines the wholesale way and not retail. We don't retail usually in France, and especially in Bordeaux. So we invite the negotiants during the en primeur. So it's the first week of April. So they come at the chateau, they taste your wine, and usually at the end of the month, you're sold out.
Yeah.
That's why we don't open our gates to guests. But here we do like in the US. So we do the tradition because we respect, of course, the tradition of Bordeaux area. So all the chateaux are working that way. But we keep 5% of the production for our members. And so when they come first at Fontplégat, they can come back anytime they want. And should they wish, buy wine, it's possible. Here it's Merlot that we mainly farm.
Yeah.
So 95% on the property is Merlot.
Oh, look at fresh escargot. Yeah, fresh escargot. Right?
Oh yeah.
Right here, look at it. Escargot.
That's the part of being organic.
Yeah.
It's we have bees, we have snails, we have we have life in the vineyard. It's not only vines, it's also birds. It's ladybirds on fava beans. We often have a lot of ladybirds on fava beans.
Oh.
Between each rows of vines, you have fava beans and barley. So we alternate.
Oh, okay.
Being biodynamic, it's always trying to find a way to protect the vine from fungus, disease, botrytis, and the natural way. So we don't use any chemicals, no pesticides here. It's only nature that fights nature. So fava beans brings nitrogen to the soil, and barley, let's say oxygen. Their roots are aerating the soils and the subsoils.
Cool. So if it's clay on top,
yeah,
and
probably would have
It's
to a little bit.
fully clay, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's all flat, it's sandy soils. So we have sandy soils, clay soils, and limestone. So the wall you can see from here, it's limestone. We have vines planted on the top of it. So we have Merlot on sand, Merlot on clay, and Merlot on limestone. So it tastes different, really. That's why you need to come back in October. Because I always offer our guests to taste the grapes from sand, clay, and limestone. Same vine, same age, and you taste the difference from the fruit. And imagine the wine. So.
And you blend it then, the three together.
We blend all the different plots together, but at the end of the aging. So we keep the traceability of every plot until it's finished aging.
Where is the California wine?
That's original. That's original. It used to be the horse stables. Horse stables because you can tell from the windows that we've shut because we have all barrels right here. So it's the worst enemy of the wine. It's sun. The sun and the oxygen and also temperature variances. That's why we need to keep the temperature steady. Usually it's 54 Fahrenheit, 54, 55 Fahrenheit max.
Like my wine cellar.
That's Denise Adams and Stephen Adams' personal cuvée.
I notice on the barrels you have green and yellow dots.
Because it's a blend, exactly, and especially because it's a plot that is between clay and sand, so it's down the hill. It's I usually say sand, clay, and limestone, but that's more complex than this. Sometimes the clay is with underground sandy soils, and sometimes it's clay and limestone, so it's they're mixing together. Limestone and sand that are blended, and we're waiting for the clay. The clay is always late, always. Same thing when we harvest. It's a very cool soil, so we harvest first sand, then limestone, and we always end up by the clay. Where you have seen the fountain, it's always the plots that we harvest the last. I wanted to show you the chateau because from it's. It talks by itself actually that the second tower was burned during the war and it rebuilt.
So this is a private residence now of the Adams family?
They're living here.
Okay.
It happened once. Some people sometimes they think that no one's living on the property. And I was waiting for a couple, I think they were from New York and they usually people ring at the main gate, but they were walking. So they thought that it was possible not to just go up the hill and so they finally took that path right here, rang at the main gate, and Denise and Stephen Adams were having their lunch, so no one was answering. And so they finally opened the gate. Is there someone here? And they were having their lunch. Hello? Yes, we're living here. So they laughed, of course, because people think sometimes it's like an empty shell, but some estates are still living estates, and people are living on the estate.
Can you take a picture of us standing on the stairs over there as a group?
Yeah,
Just another in the barrel room.
So we don't crush the berries prior. It's by falling down, they crush by their own weight.
You do some optical scanning? No.
We don't need to because it's very small production. So we have the staff for that. If we were bigger, like in the Médoc, you need to have an optical scanning to check the the size of the berry. But since we have only 3,000 cases and very small production, the team is enough. It's 10 people checking all the sizes. If you have only one grape that is crushed or not in a good shape, it's removed. Go left. Sorry. On left. This is the history of all the vintages that we have are stored.
Just a small key.
I know. 2:30.
I don't feel we're going to eat anything until after the third winery. Got half hour to close.
You probably can explain me what happens here because I had everything.
Everything happens.
But well, I will tell you, however, a little bit because La Tour Fichac is coming from Fichac. We've been a part of Fichac in former times. There over is Fichac. Just behind the woods there, this is Fichac. Fichac is coming from Fichacus, and Fichacus was a Roman estate created in the 3rd or 4th century. We are not quite sure about that. In Fichac they say 3rd century, but we are sure that it existed in 4th century. Of course they prefer 3rd century. So the wine comes here into the barrel, and then you have malolactic fermentation, which means that you have bacteria eating non-stable acidities and transform it into stable acidities. And after that, more or less you could say, well, all the fermentation is finished. Chestnut, that's one which is now taking place. It's bacteria producing vinegar. So that's the moment where you have to add as well sulfur into the wine, because we are famous here to make wine, but not vinegar.
The place we're going to visit is called Couvent des Jacobins. So they grow Merlot grape and a little bit of Cabernet Franc, and like 4% of Petit Verdot also. So that's the regular blend. They decided to bring some Petit Verdot to add color and to bring also a structure to the wine as well. So Madame Vaughan, the lovely lady
a little while to get from there to here.
Yeah. 2 kilometers actually. 2 kilometers. So everything is coming by truck, by little truck, and everything is picked by hand as well. So, but everything else is made here. The vinification, the aging, filtration, bottling, and also. So please come in. On aging as well.
And to get
Yeah, he thought you meant to get the grapes.
Yes, he was talking.
He said 2 kilometers. I thought it was making a joke.
So as you can see, so first of all, I will talk a little bit about the convent and the history behind it, because this place, before the ownership of Madame Bordeaux, it used to be a convent. From 1389, this is when it's been built, till 1790 at the French Revolution. And then the monks, the Jacobins, basically, Jacobins or Dominicans, it's the same. They've been pushed out during the split from the church and the state, basically. Then it became private, and Madame Baude's family just bought it in 1902. So Madame Baude unfortunately lost her husband a few years ago. So it's not going to be, they didn't have any children, so it's going to be the nephew, Xavier Jean, who will take it over. So in here, what we like to say, it's a combination of tradition and modernity as well. And the monks used to live here. They used to make wine in here, and they were making, they were living here like 15 to 20 at a time. Not so big. So I've talked a little bit the blending, like Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. And they produce more or less 3,000 cases a year, which represent 30,000 to 35,000 bottles per year, which is the average in here. If you go to the left bank, it's going to be 10 times bigger. So that means for them in the Médoc area, like Pauillac, Saint-Julien, Saint-Estèphe, for a single winery, it's going to be like 100,000, 200,000 or 300,000 bottles per year, which is big for us here in Saint-Emilion. The average size of the winery in Saint-Emilion, it's about like 20, so in acre, it's going to be like 20 to 25 acres. So here, the size of the winery is 25 acres, and it's spread over 17 different blocks. Sorry. So on each single one of them is kept until the aging in the barrel, and then just before the blending, just before the bottling. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 17, because they want to do like vinification for each one is going to be slightly different, the fermentation and so on and so forth. So by the way, if you want to take pictures, obviously you're very welcome. I didn't talk about it, and it will be fine on the recording.
This is an unusual shape.
Yeah, that's true.
First time I've seen one like that.
Because you know why? They've been working on the design for almost 2 years, and it took them quite a long time to make this happen. Because the shape here, it does have an incidence for the maceration and for the fermentation, and also for, how do you call it, the pump over, for the skins of the grapes to be soaked into the wine, into the juice. And here, it's two different vats. Actually, you have one here and one here. So it's two different ones. So they can control the temperature as well. You have here some things to control the temperature.
So is this just to save space, to put one on top of the other?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and also the shape. Also, it does have an incidence for the maceration and for the fermentation as well. So they just got it. It's the first year they've been using it in 2017 harvest. And 2017, I don't know if you are aware of it, was a tricky year for us, because in the whole region of Bordeaux, we lost like 50% of the total production because of the frost in late April last year. And this year, already we've been hit by a hailstorm as well, like last Saturday. Last week, and sometimes like the stones would be like golf balls, the size of golf balls, and it damaged everything. That's Madame Baude's mother.
Oh.
That's not Madame Baude.
Yeah, okay.
But maybe like me at the beginning, the first time I saw this painting, I thought it was her.
Yeah.
Now this room is only used for talks. Dinners, or it's the philosophical festival as well, which happens in here every year at this time of the year, and that's it. And you can notice, everything is very spotless, well maintained, and very unique actually.
Original floor?
No. But this is original.
Yeah.
The chair behind it, from the 14th century. Now, you know, we had in Saint-Emilion, we had so many wars. We had the revolution in here as well, and the fires as well. So this room has been destroyed, rebuilt, destroyed again, and rebuilt again. So for example, there was a door in here, which is no more in here. You could notice also the paintings on the beams, top of my head. And it's only, I would say only, but this is 100 years old, so it's pretty new, I would say, for the Couvent des Jacobins.
Yeah.
Two more rows of barrels like this. This 2017 is going to be bottled like in 2019, so always 2 years between the harvest and the bottling in here, because the wine is going to spend around between 15 to 18 months in oak barrels. So they're brand new, and they are 80% every year is new oak, and then it will go downstairs for the bottling, and they do that by gravity, because the tunnels where we're going now, they are 10 meters below ground. Yeah. But I will carry on and explain you how it works exactly downstairs.
Is all your own bottling?
Yeah. No, they rent it. They rent it. So this is Madame Bord's house, and that's the little kitchen where she makes the dinner. But we go past this door, and then we're gonna go in the tunnel. So if you want to leave like a bag or whatever, it's fine. So. Because this is there's only us, so I'm not joking. We're
going down.
Going down. I'm going to switch off the light. I just want to warn you, beware of your head. Watch out. So go backwards, turn around, and we'll meet downstairs.
Well, it's not any worse than getting out of the car.
Yeah, right.
You want to go in a group?
That's good. And look up. Look up. There you go.
Yeah. No, this is okay.
It's the backwards.
Oops. Wow. 16th century. Nowadays, it's not allowed anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You dig underneath the village.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. But so you'll see almost every single vintage since 1943, 1949, 1953, 1955 in here, 1961, and so forth.
And in between, they didn't get any?
Or they drank everything, or they didn't bottle them. So
makes a great bomb shelter, and you'd be happy the whole time.
Yeah, actually, and that's only one layer, because we're gonna carry on. We're gonna still go down afterwards.
They drank it all.
We're gonna dream about this tonight.
You know?
I'm going to be back in that little house of mine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Some lights on the stairs would be good.
Watch out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure also.
But at least you have something to hold.
Grab hold on.
Watch out. Yeah. Go tall. Et ici c'est vraiment and so you smell, I mean it smells very good, there's no bad smells or whatsoever, so the environment.
The other one's the harder one.
It's in a piece of glass.
Well, we can do that too.
And it's wet under here.
Yeah, it's wet. Yeah.
A couple barrels under here. This is reflection from the light.
And it's Bordeaux also. When you talk to somebody about French wines, the first word he will tell you, it's Bordeaux. If we talk about French wines, the first region you learn when you're learning about wine as a sommelier, it's about the Bordeaux region. It's the biggest. Is where you make like wines who could age 30, 40, 50 years easily, and you have the most prestigious wine also, and the most expensive wines also. The producers, I would say, in Bordeaux, they are making 2 or 3 wines per winery. Well, do you want to sit over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch the steps, and I'm going to bring you the glass in here.
That's quite a distance, sir.
It's an adventure also.
Isn't it an adventure?
Many steps,
Many
all
steps.
of a sudden, yeah.
Oh my.
Because the toilet, they are at the first floor, so that's why you need to go outside and then inside.
I see.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm always so surprised.
So, le menu des Jacobins, 2012. So something which is ready to be drunk, something fruity, easy drinking, with the nice balance between acidity and tannins, and not too much oak. And that's the idea behind it. That's, I would say, the friendly wine. Why? Because it's so simple to open the bottle up and to pour it in a decanter. I will pour it in the decanter and you drink it straight away afterwards. Yeah. So I'm gonna put the bottles in here, and obviously the main grape is going to be Merlot and the rest Cabernet Franc. So 2012, I would call it like a classic year. I don't know if you know about the vintages, all the vintages. Like the greatest one recently, they were in 2016, but it's not bottled yet. It will be bottled this year. 2015, very good year in the region also. And then before that, 2010 and 2009, they were amazing years. So after having tasted something like this, we're gonna go one step up with the premium wine, which is Grand Cru Classé, and which is quite young because it's a 2015, a very good year. But this, you have to sit on it for the next like 5 or 6 years to be ready to be drunk. But I had it open, and we visited the Couvent. It's a beautiful vintage, so you're gonna taste it, and you let me know what you think about it. So that's 2008. This one, the new one. So 8 years in the bottle. So from the Couvent des Jacobins.
So will 15 become like 8 as the years progress?
Better, much better. Because you have it will be so bolder and thicker.
Yeah.
Also, you can feel you have more body in the 15 versus the 2008. So. And the 15 and the 08 won't taste any better as the 15 anymore. It was the vintage. It's been the way it is, and it's what we call a classic year. But I won't age it like 10 more years. The 15, if you only keep it for 20 years, you can go 20 years, 30 years if you keep it well. But I will drink it before personally.
Yeah.
We may not be around then.
Unless you drink a bit more wine every day. You see, Madame Bour's mother,
How much more do I need to drink?
Where is the limit? No limit. Okay.
Bien perplexe, je ne peux me résoudre aux adieux. Je sais bien qu'un ex-amour n'a pas de chance, ou si peu. Mais pour moi, une explication vaudrait mieux. Sous aucun prétexte, je ne veux devant toi surexposer mes yeux. Derrière un Kleenex, j'en saurais mieux. Comment te dire adieu? Tu as mis à l'index nos nuits blanches, nos matins gris-bleus. Mais pour moi, une explication vaudrait mieux.